Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe is ready to go racing here at the Circuit de Catalunya. Welcome to Barcelona. It has been a sunny morning. It's got a little bit overcast of late as the crews are ready for their second 50-minute race of the weekend. Yesterday's rather interrupted with a couple of safety car periods after incidents, but it was a lively race and it ended up with a victory heading at the end of the 50 minutes to Paul Levet and Adam Patera, who did a very good job, Adam, the Malaysian, in the second stint, to fend off the challenge of Benedetto Strignano, who led to the pit stops. But if you're a solo driver, by having to serve an extra 3 seconds, that cost him the race lead, and he was never able to get back ahead of Adam Patera and reclaim the advantage. As far as today is concerned, Benedetto Strignano will line up on pole position, and this car, second on the grid, is also the best of those in the AM Cup, a class pole position. Stefan Tribodini is going to start. David Addison trackside. Dakota Jane is down on the grid. Dakota, I think, has headed to the CMR car of Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov, 5 times class winners this year, and it's a car that's going to start on row 9.
Now I have caught Georgie down. P18, Georgie, this is quite far back for you. Yesterday really wasn't a great race for you, finishing P4, but you're still 37 points in the championship for Pro-Am, in the lead. What's going to today be like?
I think it's going to be an interesting race. It's going to be a fun race. So we see how things are planning out after the start. We had a decent race yesterday, a bit difficult from our side, just management of tyres, which is going to be a big thing today as well. So we're going to be trying our best to climb the grid as far as possible and getting a good result, bringing good championship points back home.
So what did you learn from yesterday? Obviously, you said that tyre management was difficult. Now, your arm's starting in the car, Stefan, but he is quite good. Have you given him any advice on how to manage those tyres? Yeah,
well, now the weather today is seeming a bit cooler. So yesterday it was quite hot in the afternoon. So it's seeming to be a bit easier on the tyres today. So maybe performance levels will be up generally across the grid. So I think we'll see a fun race full of management. But yeah, we'll see how things go after the start and where we are, and then we'll go from there.
Good luck. Thank you.
Georgi Dimitrov then will go second, and the car on row 9, as Dakota points out, but Stefan Guerin did the time, so he's not as quick as Georgi Dimitrov, so it's down to Stefan Guerin's efforts in the qualifying session that dictates where the car starts, and Georgi Dimitrov will no doubt hustle it along in the second stint. Stefan Guerin dropped away yesterday. It was a brilliant battle in Pro-Am, won by Bronet Formanek and Stefan Rossina, who've already this year claimed the GT2 European Series title. So the grid formed, 50-minute race, pit window between 20 and 30, and 87 seconds for the double driver entries, 90-second pit stop for the solo driver entries, and everybody with the same base car, Lamborghini Huracan, run by different teams, and the categorization of Pro-Am, Am, and Lamborghini Cup, really to reflect everybody's different experiences and successes as drivers. One crew new for the weekend are the 2 Lamborghini young drivers from the Asian and North American Championships. The crew being Elias De La Torre and Ethan Brown, and they got 4th yesterday, having started way, way back on the grid. I think 15 places were gained by Elias De La Torre on the opening lap of the race. It was quite something. Right, let's get back down to the grid. Let's rejoin Dakota.
Enzo, yesterday was an important day, but it really wasn't your day, was it? Today, you've got Adam alongside you. He's 2 points now, only in the championship title. You're still leading, though. So what did you learn from yesterday that you can bring to today's race?
Yeah, yesterday was a really bad day. I thought that all the race was in T1, but actually no, it quite actually ruined my race in T1. So we need to stay focused, don't overpush in the first stint, and then try to make the difference in the second one.
How did the car feel yesterday? Was there any issues? Is there anything you're concerned about for today?
No, I think the car yesterday was quite fast, but eventually here, when you're stuck in the traffic, you can't do anything about it, except if the guy in front do mistakes. So we need to be aware of every opportunities.
Good luck. Thank you. Bon chance.
And Enzo Garacci yesterday given a penalty for contact against Patrick Frabroni. He was stuck in traffic, as he was suggesting. He tried to find a way through. There was slight contact up at turn 12, and it put Frabroni into the gravel and out of the race. Dimitri Engelbert there was good yesterday in the Pro-Am battle, taking 3rd with Anthony Nara. Dimitri Engelbert will start today. Anthony Nara to do stint 2. So drivers getting set for the formation lap. Patrick Fraboni, as I've just touched on, was in the gravel yesterday. Giacomo Pedrini will start. Double winners. Patrick's with Dakota.
Patrick, ieri è stato un giorno per dimenticare, ma oggi è molto importante arrivare anche in la battaglia per il campionato. Che tu pensa?
Sì, ieri purtroppo per un contatto ci siamo ritirati dalla gara, però oggi dobbiamo fare il meglio per rimanere lì nel campionato e fare più punti possibili.
Okay, right, a little translation. I asked Patrick, obviously yesterday was a day to forget. It was a really bad race for him. He said today you're willing to bring the battle and you're going to remain in the championship. So let's see how you do. Let's see how Giacomo goes. Good luck.
Thank you.
They are fifth in the points now, Patrick Fraboni and Giacomo Pedrini. Pedrini, the start driver, and Patrick Fraboni will do the second stint. You don't have to have a co-driver. It's not a regulated double driver championship, this, but many elect to do it. It splits costs, and in the case of the Pro-Ams, if you're the Am, you want a very quick Pro with you. Perhaps if you're in the Lamborghini Cup, where that's more for the gentleman racers, or the Am category as well, then you can go solo, and that's true of Karim Moget, who's rather dominated in the Am class this season. Anthony Nara, we looked at a moment or two ago. Dimitri Engelbert starting. Anthony Nara now with Dakota.
Anthony, you're still in the championship battle as well. There's some really strong competition in the Pro-Am category, and I know you've got Schotter behind you as well. I know you've got this strong Am coupling as well in front of you. What do you think is going to happen in turn one?
Maybe in turn one it will be a big fight, but still confident with my teammate to do the best and to stay on the track. It will be a great race.
Good luck. I've heard the whistle, so we better get off the grid.
And Dimitri Engelbert then at the wheel of number 74, ready to go. Drivers then making their way off the grid, back to the pit lane. And one more engineer will stay with the car just to fire it up on that 1 minute board. The lead car, the Lamborghini Urus, ready to lead the field away. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe back as a regular support part of the SRO Motorsports GT World Challenge Europe package this year. Great to have the championship back. It concludes not here, but at Misano in a month's time as part of the World Finals weekend. Benedetto Strignano then is the driver on pole position, former Carrera Cup Italy champion there on the inside of the grid in the black car, number 15, that's the pole car. And 66, a really good effort by Stefan Tribodini to put the VSR entry, the best of the Am class cars, onto the front row of the grid. So the Lamborghini Squadra Corsa flag, the Italian Tricolore flags all moved from the front of the grid. The blue car, number 10 there, Guido Ricetti, 74, Dimitri Engelbert, fourth. You've heard from his co-driver, Anthony Nara, fifth on the grid. Patrick Fraboni, we've heard from, and Giacomo Pedrini, and then sixth, a car that's been quick but a bit unlucky, the Egor Orodchev and Shotrab Kazava car for Oregon. Josef Knop there, starting for Enzo Garacci. Pietro Perolini, winner yesterday in Am, sharing with Massimo Ciglia. And there is Amaury Bonduel and Sebastian Balthazar. Amaury Bonduel, last year's champion, who came back to race at Spa, was tagged out of the race at the first corner of race one, and the damage put him out for the weekend. And Sebastian Balthazar, we've not seen since the World Final last year. 1 minute board, engines fire. The car of Balthazar and Bonduel yesterday had been given a 5-second time penalty for track limits, but then it was ascertained that the track limits had not been reset when they should have been, and therefore the track limit warnings should not have kept tossing up, so the penalty was withdrawn. So it did keep third place in a race won by Paul Levet and Adam Putera from Benedetto Strignano. Bonduel and Balthazar then taking third. Pro-Am yesterday won by Bronet Formanek and Stefan Rossina, Am by Massimo Ciglia and Pietro Perolini, and the Lamborghini Cup by Karim Moget. So any moment we will have that 15-second board. The Urus will accelerate away, and then on instruction the race cars will be allowed off in pursuit. Last opportunity to get a bit of warmth into the Hankook rubber on which the cars run. Hankook came on board last year as the tyre supplier. Green flag is shown then, so everybody now sets off on the final formation lap. We are approaching 12 o'clock, 10 to 12 local time, so the temperatures have gone up since the start of the day. No need, therefore, for a second formation lap, unlike one of the earlier support races that we had at 9 this morning. So the cars generating a little bit of temp as they weave left and right down towards turn 1. And then we'll make the run along this 4.6 kilometre long circuit here outside Barcelona. Always a competitive field in Super Trofeo Europe across the 4 classes. It will conclude in Massano, but here the grid headed by Benedetto Strignano on pole position, with Stefan Tribodini lining up second. It's Guido Luchetti starting third and Dimitri Ange-Albert going from fourth. Fifth, Giacomo Pedrini and Egor Orodchev starting sixth on the grid. Then it is going to be Adam Patera in the VSR car and Josef Knopp alongside. Sebastian Balthazar starts on row 5 alongside Pietro Parolini. Then it is going to be Rosario Messina and the impressive Ethan Brown. Next up, it is Hugo Bach and Renault Kuppen's car. Renault Kuppen's to start today. And then Mons Tarlin lines up alongside, ahead of Adrian Lewandowski, who's been a class winner in AM, and Anthony Pretorius, who's been an outright race winner. Bronek Formanek, double winner now, lines up alongside Stefan Guerin. Karim Auger is next, having had 6 Lamborghini Cup wins. He's alongside Kevin Mirocha. Then it is Alfredo Hernandez Ortega and Adalberto Baptista. He's had a Lamborghini Cup win. Next up, Claude Gosselin and Francesco Turzo. Alessio Ruffini is on row 13, and with the help of Milos Pavlovic, has had a Pro-Am win. Philip Tang is next, ahead of Holger Harpson, who's had a Lamborghini Cup win. Rodrigue Gillon comes next, sharing with Stefan Lemeret, ahead of Fred Roberts out of the North American Championship, and Sandro Moore next on the grid. Row 16, Christian Bortolato, who was in the gravel early yesterday, and Serge Doms going solo for a change, with Chi Chung Chan and Luciano Privitello rounding out the grid. So now the field working up through turn 12. This is Ethan Brown's view in the Leipert Motorsport car. Leipert, one of the top teams, just a few last adjustments on the steering wheel, getting the displays he wants it. The car's all in first gear as they crawl round now, put themselves in that Noah's Ark side-by-side formation, ready for blast-off. Coming out of turn 13 in a moment, the road drops down the hill, speeds will build, and then we are going to be ready to go for this 50-minute race. Interrupted twice yesterday, so let's see how we fare today. Benedetto Strignano needs to try to get the advantage and build a gap here if he can, but up against him he's going to be Guido Luchetti behind. The car of Stefan Tribodini it's going to be affected by the fact that it's in the AM class, and therefore the pace of the drivers not quite as good as those in Pro, but it's going to be interesting to see how it fares on the opening laps in the hands of the quick Tribodini. Right, up to the lights. They now change. We go racing. Good getaway by Strignano from pole as Adam Patera dives to the inside there in the white nose car up against the pit wall. Guido Luchetti covers that move off as they head down towards turn 1. On the outside line is Stefan Tribodini. Ethan Brown trying to gain places as well up the inside line, and drama because that is Sebastian Balthazar who goes around and creates mayhem. Dimitri Ange-Albert has got caught up in it in the red and black car. That is Egor Orodchev, who's spun coming out of turn 2. Yellow flag, and I suspect we're going to end up with a safety car. But drama breaks out at the first corner. As I say, Balthazar was involved in it, so too was Dimitri Ange-Albert. Others got caught up in it, so as the field now goes up around turn 4, the race director, Alain Adam, will be waiting to see whether or not everybody can rejoin, or whether or not we're going to have to interrupt the race to get cars out of awkward places. There, a challenge made by Renault Kuppens on the inside to go through. Puts himself up ahead of number 34 there, the Oregon entry. That's Rosario Messina at the wheel of it as the cars then now come out of turn 5 and up through the chicane for the first time. So I think everybody has, believe it or not, got going. Guido Luchetti was one that was badly delayed. Also Dimitri Ange-Albert, Sebastian Balthazar. So through they come, down towards turn 10. But the yellow flags have been withdrawn. So astonishingly enough, despite what looked like a pretty serious drama, people have got going again. Luchetti, Balthazar and Ange-Albert, the 3 that were delayed. But they have picked themselves up and got going again. So Benedetto Strignano holds sway at the front of the field as they come now down towards turn 13. That is Anthony Pretorius, the South African driver, a race winner this year, going through in number 99, heading up now towards the completion of the opening lap of the race. So Benedetto Strignano, it is trying to get away, and I'm afraid a punctured tyre and a lot of damage for Dimitri Engelbert pretty much spells the end of his race early on. So he is limping back to the pit lane as the leaders go by, and it is Strignano then ahead at the moment of Tribodini in second place. In third spot it is Giacomo Pedrini, Adam Patera fourth, Ethan Brown is fifth. Holger Harmsen there ahead of the recovering Mons Tallinn, number 44. Let's have another look at the start then as they all head down into the first corner, and it is Sebastian Balthazar to the inside. He gets on the grass, can't stop the car, it snaps sideways, he hits Luchetti. They all seem to pile somehow into Dimitri Engelbert and knock him around. Others have to go off in avoidance, including Bronek Formanek. This is how Ethan Brown saw it as he accelerates away down towards turn 1, and all of a sudden there are going to be cars coming across the road ahead of him. There's a yellow flag out at turn 6 now, incidentally, as there, look, is Balthazar right across the front, and Ethan Brown very lucky not to get caught up in all of that. And that was the second incident that spun Egor Orochev out of the way coming through turn 2. And the reason for the yellow flag is that Dimitri Engelbert has stopped on the track. He can't even get the car back to the pit lane, such is the level of the damage. So very disappointing for Engelbert and Anthony Nara, from whom we heard on the grid as Benedetto Strignano leads the way. There, chasing after him is Stefan Tribodini. And in third place, Giacomo Pedrini, the car that was in the gravel at this corner yesterday and out of the race. So frantic stuff at turn 1. That is Alessio Ruffini going through, being chased in turn by number 23, the entry from the DL Racing stable of Francesco Turzo. Turzo comes now out of turn 13, drops down towards the end of the lap, and Ruffini in Pro-Am, Turzo in Lamborghini Cup. Over the line goes Benedetto Strignano, and he is half a second up the road ahead of the Pro-Am, the Am leading Stefan Tribodini. Pro-Am being led by Renaud Kuppens at the moment in 7th place overall, as there the yellow and blue car of Mons Tallinn goes to the inside line, heading into the braking zone for turn 1, and a nice clean pass. That's the recovering Egor Orochev in number 12, the car that he shares with Shadrab Kazava. But Benedetto Strignano, for the meantime, leads, but is slow coming out of turn 3, almost there, making me think there was a full course yellow that he was slowing down for. There was certainly a yellow flag, but he backed off greatly, and that has enabled Stefan Tribodini to close the gap. Down the hill once more they come then. So Strignano trying to rebuild that advantage over Tribodini, and then it's Giacomo Pedrini in third place, but he's not really being able to stay for the moment with the leaders. Fastest lap's been done already by the recovering Sebastian Balthazar, well wound up after his moment going into the first corner. Whether that's going to get looked at, we'll wait and see. But with the car on the grass, it was never going to end all that well. Lead battle then, starting to build up once again with Pedrini, and then in fourth place, Adam Patera, just getting a little bit nearer to the back of Tribodini's car now. This will bring them round to the end of lap number 3. Benedetto Strignano, race leader. There's Pretorius coming up towards us, the South African driver in 9th place. That's another of the Leipert cars, and another yellow flag shown, this time at turn 6, as the leaders power their way up towards the timing line once again. So through comes the leading Benedetto Strignano car that is run from the Scuderia Villorba Corsa stable, goes by with a half a second advantage to the VSR entry of Stefan Tribodini. Then you've got Giacomo Pedrini third, Adam Patera fourth, Ethan Brown fifth, and Pietro Perolini is in 6th. Second currently in the Am class. 7th is Renaud Kuppens leading in Pro-Am. 8th is Messina, 9th Pretorius, and 10th is Adrian Lewandowski. And another place about to be gained here by the look of it for Mons Tallinn, who gets up the inside and goes through under braking then. That puts him 13th ahead of Alessio Ruffini. For the race lead, though, Stefan Tribodini is really having a big go, is he not, at Benedetto Strignano here as the cars come again out of turn 4. Making that run nose to tail for the race lead, and this is enabling now third-placed car in the hands of Giacomo Pedrini to get even closer. Coming up through turns 7 and 8 then. Race leader Benedetto Strignano trying to get clear, but Stefan Tribodini crawling all over the back of him. In 4th place, Adam Patera, and his co-driver Paul Levette is with Dakota in the pits.
I have caught up with Paul Levette, car number 6 VSR. Adam had a really good start, Paul. Is this going to be... You're obviously wearing a cool suit as well, I've just noticed. It's not that hot today. Why are you wearing a cool suit?
I'm always trying to be calm and cool when I go in the car, and especially with what can happen on track, it's always better to be as cool as possible.
After yesterday's win and obviously missing the race in Nürburgring, what is it like to be back in Super Trofeo Europe?
Obviously, fantastic feeling. I missed this adrenaline, but I missed racing, and being on the sideline was kind of a torture, if I can say. So I worked so hard to be back, and obviously I think we made the most out of it yesterday, and hopefully today also.
And now you've seen, obviously yesterday we had a lot of restarts. What would be your advice to Adam in this current moment where there's obviously a yellow flag in turn 6?
I mean, I have a few things to teach him, but he learned so quickly since the start of the season. He did a mega restart yesterday with the safety car, so honestly, for now, the mission is just to drive, avoid any mistake, avoid any track limit. It's very difficult to overtake, so basically we wait for the mistakes of the other, like we always did since the start of the season, and it worked a lot of times.
Good luck, bonne chance.
Thank you.
Paul Levert then back in the championship. It was budgetary constraints that forced him onto the sidelines at the Nürburgring, but the winner yesterday in that car, 4th at the moment. Now, Balthazar under investigation, we notice, for the dramas that he had down into turn 1, so perhaps not surprising given what was triggered. Sebastian Balthazar is being looked at, as right here is number 34. This is Rosario Messina, who runs in Pro on the back of the Pro-Am leading Renaud Kuppens, very experienced driver, and in fact Messina having a look on the inside as they headed up the hill there. That's the recovering Egor Orodchev, another very experienced driver, being chased hard by Mans Tallinn, there number 44 in the Leipert car, and behind it is number 7, which is the experienced Karim Auger leading Lamborghini Cup and running in 12th overall, which is very good effort. And the problem there, that is Kuppens, who has slowed right down and gone wide at 10. So Renaud Kuppens trying to pick up pace again, but let's see whether he limps on or is bound for the pit lane. As up towards the line here is the AM class leading Stefan Tribodini, dropping back slightly now from Benedetto Strignano in the lead of the race. Sebastian Balthazar's zealotry is going to be looked at after the race, not during it. So for the moment, his race continues unaffected as the leader goes through 8/10 up the road now. Strignano having just done the fastest lap of the race as well. So that margin grows between the top two. Pedrini 3rd, Patera 4th, 5th is Ethan Brown and Pietro Perolini 6th. They're going through is Anthony Pretorius, the South African driver, proving the very international nature of Super Trofeo Europe this season. Anthony Pretorius then goes by and makes the run now up towards turn 4, having been a very quick South African touring car racer and South African Polo Cup competitor, kind of following in the footsteps, if you like, of Kelvin van der Linde and Jordan Pepper, who've come from South Africa into European GT racing. Jordan Pepper part of that Lamborghini factory roster these days. Now there, Renaud Kuppens has picked up pace again. He is still ahead in the Pro-Am battle, but he did fall back overall. The opposition to him is coming from the black car of Stefan Guerin. That's a little bit further back in the queue, one car but one. So between them, you've got Adrian Lewandowski, and then number 13, Stefan Guerin, goes through shot. He in turn is being chased by Egor Orodchev, recovering after his lap 1 turn 2 spin. Mans Tallinn goes through 13th, and that's 14th, Karim Auger. That's the leader in Lamborghini Cup right now. So Tallinn at 10 goes through, and he has just done an absolute best middle sector in the number 44 car, another of the many out of the Leipert stable. Number 7 then is Karim Auger, who's dropped to 14th now, but he's still comfortably ahead in class as he powers on to the end of the lap. Pit window is about 9 minutes away from opening as the leading car of Benedetto Strignano. He's caught slightly by Tribodini. He's been the fastest driver in that leading line, and then the fastest lap of the race taken by Egor Orodchev in the Artline car. 12th it runs. Egor Orodchev and co-driver Shertrop Kazova running under Kazakhstani licenses. As you see, Stefan Guerin, the experienced French driver there, making the run now up towards turn 4, sharing with the quick Brit, Georgi Dimitrov. It was a really late deal that put them on the grid, but they've dominated Pro-Am and even had 2 outright race wins. Outright wins from Pro-Am is very impressive indeed. And now Guerin looking for a way past Adrian Lewandowski. Adrian's father, Andre, has been a regular winner, whether it's been as a soloist or with co-drivers across Super Trofeo Europe and the World Final itself. And Adrian Lewandowski carrying on the family trait of being very successful in this championship. Race leaders then once more swoop through turn 13 down to the end of the lap, but there you're looking at the back of Stefan Garan's car, and he is currently in 11th place overall, and the real focus is going to be on the class results, and Renault Kuppens, just a couple of cars up the road ahead for the Boots and VDS team, is the main opposition. Benedetto Strignano then continues to hold sway. He's about to come up to complete the lap, and as he does so, chasing after him remains Stefan Tribodini. There third is Giacomo Pedrini, and Adam Patera falling back a little bit. He did a good job of defending the lead yesterday from Strignano. Benedetto Strignano is the best of all of the soloists right now, of course. Everybody behind him in that leading battle are double driver entries, so they're on a 3-second shorter pit stop as a result of that. Alessio Ruffini comes through with Bronek Formanek, the Czech Republic driver, behind him, and then next in the queue as they go by is Josef Knopp, who was very badly delayed off the start. That was a car that was 8th on the grid, Josef Knopp, but he got caught up in all the dramas. Formanek to the inside line, he was delayed early on as well, don't forget, through the gravel here, so Formanek rebuilding his race and just puts a move on Ruffini to go through then, and that now is a change not only for 15th place overall, but also for 4th within Pro-Am. To the inside line comes the recovering Josef Knopp. So these are the drivers that are ahead in the championship in Pro, Josef Knopp and Enzo Guaracci, but they've got to rebuild the race somehow here, and right now that car's only 8th in class, so they need to get a wriggle on. Down through turn 5 they come. There's the lead gap. Stefan Tribodini chasing after the leading car of Benedetto Strignano. The fact that Tribodini is in AM rather understates his ability, because he's a French GT champion. He's won the AM class in GT World Challenge Endurance. He's won the AM class last year, indeed, in Super Trofeo Europe. He's also won the Pro-Am title in Italian GT Sprint. So Stefan Tribodini is an experienced competitor, and a rather shiny bronze, you could argue. Comes up to chase Strignano then across the line. Tribodini through that margin 0.7 of a second, and on that lap the fractionally quicker was the chasing Tribodini rather than the chased Strignano. The reason that Egor Orodchev had a spin at turn 2 was possibly something to do with number 44 of Mans Tallinn, because the incident between those two is being looked at, as here Josef Knopp getting himself onto the back of Bronek Formanek is going for position then as they come up towards the line. So both of them have been pushing forward on this lap, and as they come through now then, Bronek Formanek is up to 15th, Josef Knopp 16th, still 4th and 8th in their respective classes. Knopp looks to the inside line, and off the road there is, I'm afraid to say, a driver that retired early from yesterday's race. That is Christian Bortolato, and that's at turn 7, and a very smoky car. And this is the safety car making its first appearance then, with 5 minutes before the pit window. Safety car called by race director Alain Adam to neutralise the race and to get that car out of harm's way. So now all the gaps are going to disappear. If you're the slower driver in your car, that's really good news. It gives your co-driver a big opportunity. If you're the quicker driver, it's really bad news. And that off the road, is that Strignano? Is that the leader? The car getting back onto the circuit, and it is the race leader. Benedetto Strignano then has had a moment down at turn 8. Now I wonder whether there's oil down, because we saw smoke coming out of Bortolato's car. Is there something on the ground that has caused that to slide off the racetrack, and it's dropped a long, long way off the circuit? So now Stefan Tribodini is going to be in the race lead, and there, number 15 then, Benedetto Strignano, is going to be back down into 11th place. Tribodini from Pedrini from Patera is going to be the order. Safety car deployed, and yes, a slippery surface flag is indeed required. So the race leader, effectively the pioneer, the first one along, has got caught out by it. That's Sebastian Balthazar, who triggered the dramas at turn 1, 28th he is. So now the driver's being warned about possible oil on the racetrack, and that means that the field slowly will make its way around that part of the circuit. Safety car deployed then here at the Circuit de Catalunya. The pit window is going to be delayed, possibly, whilst this incident is attended to, as Paul Lauvet gets ready for VSR to take over what will now become the third place car of Adam Patera, and Benedetto Strignano is going to be absolutely seething, having gone off the road and fallen down the order. So everybody now is getting into the queue, but it's a rather spread out field. It's going to take a while for everybody to be brought under control. This is turn 4 where the leaders are, and there are cars still coming into turn 13. So it's over those first 9 laps, a field spread way over the order of the racetrack, and there, straight through the gravel, goes Bortolato. But look at all the smoke coming out. I think the engine's let go, and there, on the oil, off goes the race-leading Strignano. Pirouettes into shot. So that was the race leader getting caught out by oil, dropped by Bortolato, and therefore it's not just going to be the car that needs removing, it's going to be liquid on the road as well that might have to be treated. Others will be very grateful that it was Strignano that found the oil first, because they were able to measure their pace against him. But Benedetto Strignano came into a corner that previously had had a fine track surface, and all of a sudden grip level was completely different. So the field now works lap 10, makes the run up out of turn 8, and heading now into this safety car period. Number 5, Adrian Lewandowski, goes through, currently third in the AM contest. And while all this is going on, we're getting drivers on their final track limit warning, one of being Holger Harmsen, who had a spin yesterday. So down through turn 10 they come. So now everybody pretty much in one long line. That means that the field will go through, and the marshals have got more opportunity to work before the cars come around again. In fact, they've already pretty much dragged Bortolato's car through the gravel. The orange barriers show where there's a gap, where there's an access point. That's the reason for the colouring, so drivers, if they have a problem, know where to aim. And the safety car with the lights still on come now down through turn 14. So the safety car brings them to the end of lap 10. Stefan Tribodini, the race leader, and in the leading Pro Cup car now, it is Giacomo Pedrini in second place. Adam Patera third, second of the pros. In the background, you saw Mans Tal in there, in the blue and yellow Lippert car, weaving left and right to maintain some tyre temperature and pressure, ready for the resumption of the race. So, in theory, the pit window will open by the end of this lap, but I'm still looking to see if there's any confirmation. Yes, now it's just come up. Pit window delayed by 2 minutes, so it will be delayed by 2 minutes. And therefore, that's just to get the oil treated and Bortolato's car off the road. So through turn 4 turns the pack under safety car conditions. And Rodri Gillon there in the very Belgian liveried car goes through shot. That's Pietro Perolini and Paolo Biglieri also going through. Paolo Biglieri in the white and orange ASR entry, got involved in a bit of contact yesterday that did for Shodrub Kaza, that gave him a punctured tyre. And that Stefan Garin turns through, ready to hand over to Georgi Dimitrov. This, in a sense, good news for them, because it keeps the pack tightly bunched. It means that with the different pace of drivers, the quicker Georgi Dimitrov has less work to do going into the second stint. So down through turn 10 they will turn, and coming through is there Renault Coupens, still leading in Pro-Am from Stefan Garin. Karim Auger is leading in Lamborghini Cup in 14th place. And now the oil being treated. So the pit window has been moved back. Very, very busy in the grandstands today. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe, part of the Festival de la Velocidad, promoted by Jesus Pozzo, the 10th running of the event, and every year it grows and grows and grows, not just in terms of cars racing, but also the extra things off track, supercar displays, car clubs, DJs, you name it. There was much effort off track as on, and brings the fans out in good numbers. So the race leading car remains that of Stefan Tribodini. No overtaking, of course, while the safety car is out like this. Tribodini not being able to build much of a lead for Pier Giacomo Randazzo, so it's kind of hurting them, this, really. Tribodini needed to try to get away and build the advantage early on. So still we will have the track treated, and it's round about this part of the circuit, downhill into turn 7. So there you can see just on the very edge of the track. So the car's being kept to one side. The speedy dry put down and then swept into place. Pit window delayed by 2 more minutes, says the race director. So slight extension of the opening stint here, rather than getting people in under the safety car conditions that we have. Giacomo Pedrini remains the Pro Cup leader, with Adam Patera sat right up behind him. And then the third of the Pro Cup cars, Ethan Brown, racing here for the first time, but the driver from Super Trofeo Asia looking mighty impressive indeed. Ethan Brown, the Singaporean driver. Renaud Coupens there, leading currently in Pro-Am. Pro-Am having lost, of course, Dimitri Engelbert, the one big casualty, through no fault of his own, of the accident at the start of the race. So Renaud Coupens ready to give way to Hugo Back. They've had a class win together this season already. And although that car seemed to have a problem earlier and slow, it's fought its way back into the mix. The victory that they had came last time out at the Nürburgring, in fact. And 2 outright race wins, as I've been saying, for Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov. Karim Ogier, in his dual liveried car, black on one side, white on the other, goes through. And we are now on to lap number 13. We've got 26 minutes of the race still remaining. And up front, it is Stefan Tribodini. When the pit window does open, you're still going to get a mad scramble of cars to serve the pit stops. So hopefully now the track treatment will have been done. Not quite, all hands to the pump, but you can see it's not too great a line, but when the engine let go, Bortolato was going in one direction only. So really disappointing weekend. He had a spin into the gravel yesterday, and the DL racing car has fired him off with that engine drama today. So the marshals relaying the news back to race control of what's been done. Field comes by, and there might just be a little bit more work. They're not yet going back to post. Through turns Coupens in the Boots and VDS car, a team operating not only in Super Trofeo but also within the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Finale. So down towards turn 10. Pit window is now open. So the pit window is ready for the teams to plan their pit stops. So the safety car brings the field through and may well end up with barely anybody behind this time. So the pit window is open, it says on that graphic, but doesn't say that on the timing screen. Anyway, in they all come. So the safety car has precisely nobody behind. But nowhere, as I can see on the timing screen, does it say the pit window is open. It does on our race control graphic, but this is all slightly interesting. Down the pit lane, everybody pause. The team's eager to get these stops out of the way. Remember, if you are a solo driver, it's an extra 3 seconds time that you have to serve in the pit lane. Adam Patera there helps to strap in Paul Lavette, ready for his stint aboard number 6, the winning car of yesterday. And number 11, which is the Formanek and Rossina car, is being given a 5-second time penalty for cutting turn 2. So dramas for that. I think one car stayed out. Yes, Alfredo Hernandez Ortega has stayed out. And there he is now in the notional lead of the race. Very, very crowded in the pit lane. So those that have completed the pit stop down the pit lane, Benedetto Strignano, of course, had tumbled down the order anyway by dint of his excursion through the gravel, and now having to serve a slightly longer pit stop. This race has really unravelled for him, I'm afraid to say, as now it is going to be down the pit lane, back into the race, the car of Tribodini and Pier Giacomo Randazzo from VSR, effectively versus the sister car of Adam Patera and Paul Levesque, but that's the stronger one coming out of Pro. So everybody pours down the pit lane. So we are back with the pit stops pretty much done and the safety car on track, and now Alfredo Hernandez Ortega elects to pit as well. So he will be a notional lap leader as he comes over the line in the pits, but then he'll drop to last place once that stop is done. So the safety car now looking for friends, because they are all pretty much a long, long way back. Let's see, though, whether this pit stop can be done before too many places are lost by Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, because he's been able to do a lap at motorway speed, effectively, behind the safety car, rather than losing all of that time. So in he comes, and the team will go to work. This is the 90-second stop for a solo driver. Meanwhile, the leaders are coming down towards turn 10, and you can see how much effort is being put in to prep the tyres for the resumption of the race, which has 21.5 minutes still to go. So there is Pier Giacomo Randazzo, the leader, from in second place Patrick Fraboni, and then it is now Paul Levesque in third spot. There's the leader. So Pier Giacomo Randazzo comes now over the line, and unable, of course, to build that lead because we're still under caution conditions like this. So he will have to wait for the green flag to fly in order to do anything about rebuilding the advantage. He's been a regular Lamborghini racer in the last few seasons, but a former Carrera Cup Italy competitor as well as Italian GT driver. So Pier Giacomo Randazzo holds sway. Track limit warnings now reset going into the second stint, so these drivers therefore can push on a little bit more. And down into turn 1 goes the pack. Safety car's over at 7, so having to really back off now, wait for them all to join. But if the road is clear, can't be that far off, getting things back underway, wouldn't have thought. Safety car's going up to turn 9 now. So there's the chasing horde. Benedetto Strignano down in 13th place after the trip through the gravel and the pit stop. Right, so safety car, on the tracker map it's being shown as being at turn 10. It's actually crawling up towards turn 7, I think. But trying to let everybody catch back up. And catch up they will. So the field coming now through lap 15. And lights are still on, but now I think that the queue has caught the safety car. Maybe one more lap just to do a proper safe restart, and then we can go racing, hopefully. So through turn 10, the pack now comes. So Dimitri Engelbert out of the race, Christian Bortolato out of the race, and we've also, I fear, lost Adrian Lewandowski because that car has pitted and not rejoined, and also the same number 79, the Kevin Mirocha car, that pitted and didn't rejoin. So for some reason, another couple with problems. So the safety car leads them through, waiting for confirmation from race direction as to whether this might be the last safety car lap. We'll find out. The pack goes by. Yellow lights still flash. 19 minutes of the race to go. While this is all going on, we can hear from Stefan Tribodini because his car is leading the race. It's got Pier Giacomo Randazzo at the wheel, but Stefan T is with Dakota.
Stefan, a close to perfect stint from you. How was that feeling at the front? Was it hard to manage everything, tyres, fuel, and obviously you saw that the safety car is still out, so that could be a little bit nerve-wracking for Piero.
Yeah, I think Piero have a hard work now to do. Honestly, I'm really, really happy about the car. So I want to thank VSR because the car is mega. I didn't expect to be able to follow the first car with not too much margin and have also a good car, a good balance. So I was quite okay behind Strignano, and we make a gap on the third position. Bad luck for him, he took the oil on turn 7. And I almost crashed also. So I'm happy to stay on track and to be first. But now, yeah, the hardest pass is now with Piero, first with all the pro after a safety car. So I hoped for Piero to have a margin, but now with everybody glue on his back, it will be really, really more difficult, because if you go outside of the line, you have a lot of pickup, and it's really difficult after to manage the car. So I hope to Piero to stay first arm. We don't care about being first overall. First arm is the goal.
Grip level, super low. It looks really, really low. And as you said, now the pickup. Do you think Piero can manage it?
Yeah, for sure, for the arm driver, it's the worst thing to manage because it's not easy to take off the pickup. So I hope he will do it, and I cross finger for him.
I cross finger for him too. Good luck, bon chance.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Safety car is indeed in this lap. So as the field turns through, there is Pier Giacomo Randazzo's car that Stefan Tribodini was driving in the lead of the race, but he's now got Patrick Frabboni, a double winner this year, sitting on his tail and leading his class. Frabboni then needs to try and get past in order to try and build an advantage in Pro, and they've made a good restart, those two, as they come off turn 14, getting away from Paul Levet in third place. It's then Elias de la Torre in fourth as they come down towards turn 1. Massimo Ciglia fifth. Gerhard Wisniewski is in sixth, and Silas Rutter seventh, as covering off the inside line is Randazzo, but he needs to work out now what he's trying to do. Is he fighting for the overall position or a class win? All over the back of him then is Patrick Frabboni as they go round turn 3, and up the inside goes Paul Levet, and he's going to get the place, I think, on the run to 4 on the inside line. Then the white car in the inside line is that of Paul Levet, and he's going to go through as he breaks as late as he dares, tries to prise open the door against Frabboni, and he will just get his nose in front, coming out the other side. Through he has gone then, so gaining the place. Paul Levet up into second and a class lead, and now look, you've got number 70, the car of Elias de la Torre, looking for a way through as well. De la Torre has gone really well here, racing at Barcelona for the first time, as now you can see, look, Frabboni is on the attack, goes through, gets himself up to second place now, goes ahead of Randazzo. Randazzo's going to drop like a stone here with all these pro cars around him, and he's also forced out wide as De la Torre tries to get past him at 9 for third place, and he will do so on the run down now towards turn 10. It is Paul Levet leading the way, 16 minutes and counting as they come then into turn 10. Patrick Frabboni in second place, charging along for third. The change is about to come. Is it Elias de la Torre around the outside goes third, down to fourth is Randazzo. Fifth now it is Gerhard Wisniewski, and then Silas Rutter is going through for sixth place, number 99 in the car that he's taken over from Anthony Pretorius, the blue Leipert car there, winner at Spa earlier on in the season. So out of turn 13 they come, ready to drop down the hill, and a challenge being made to the inside by Wisniewski, but Randazzo slams the door in his face. Randazzo's task really is to keep 61, another Oregon car of Massimo Ciglia at bay, but over the timing line they come, and looking very, very committed in the background there is Georgi Dimitrov in the all-black car, pounding its way up on the outside line, and Dimitrov already has got himself into the lead of Pro-Am. To the inside line goes Rutter, to the outside line there goes Dimitrov in the black car, trying to go around Wisniewski, which he achieves. So another place gained by Georgi Dimitrov, puts him fifth, absolutely flying here for the ex-British F4 racer. He's on the back of Randazzo, and he should be able to clear him. Randazzo a quick Am, but he's up against a Pro and a Pro-Am car. So Georgi Dimitrov makes that stick. Wide in the background goes Kalle Bergerman, and he's about to be under attack from Benedetto Strignano. 44 is Bergerman there, number 15 is Strignano as they go through turn 4. And up ahead of both of them is Hugo Back, number 2, the Boutsen car, and he's almost alongside Silas Rutter. To the inside goes Bergerman, and he goes through, makes that move against Hugo Back, picks up a place and goes by. So the race leaders then again come down through turn 7. Benedetto Strignano trying to rebuild his race. Safety car helped him a bit by bunching everybody up, but he'd lost so much time. Now the gaps are widening again as he tries to clear the traffic. So it's still a weekend of what might have been, really, as far as Strignano is concerned. Paul Levet, in the meantime, yesterday's winner with Adam Patera leading again. What a return to the championship for Levet this would be. A double victory. Number 44 there, Kalle Bergerman on the inside line, Benedetto Strignano on the outside at 10, trying to stand his ground for the inside up the hill. And as they get towards turn 12, doesn't quite work for him, has to slot back in behind. certainly though, Strignano, former Porsche Carrera Cup Italy racer, looking very, very menacing as they come downhill once more, swoop through 13. Silas Rutter to the inside of Gerhard Wisniewski just up the road, but the leading Paul Levesque car 1.2 seconds to the good as they come across the timing line. De La Torre in third, and he is dropping away ever so slightly. Fastest lap of the race before the pit stops, before that long safety car period, Egor Oroshev. And now you can see Silas Rutter on the inside of Kalle Bergman there, and Rutter in the blue car is going to go through, or is he? Strignano is right with them. Possibly a bit of contact, and that forces Rutter off the road, and it forces Bergman off the road as well. Past the pair will come Benedetto Strignano, and there, Kalle Bergman, the Swedish driver, he was the one, I think, that was rather unfairly roughed up in that, on the outside line, and contact between Strignano and Rutter rather did for him. Another car moving forward, then Gerhard Wisniewski moving himself now up past Randazzo. Randazzo is going to be mugged by Rutter, who gets through on the inside. Place gained. More drama. To the inside line goes Kalle Bergman. He picks away past number 66 of Pier Giacomo Randazzo. Benedetto Strignano is in the mix in number 15 as well. And you've also got the green car, look, Milos Pavlovic in the equation. Pavlovic, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. He's been part of Super Trofeo for many, many years, make that decades, really. And now Pavlovic gifted a result here with Alessio Ruffini being in that safety car queue and therefore not losing time in the original stint. It's up to Pavlovic to try to get a result out of this, and they could yet be on for second in Pro-Am. I think Georgi Dimitrov is too far up the road, but there, look, Hugo back on the inside, Milos Pavlovic on the outside. This is for second in Pro-Am, and it's back just ahead. Winners both this year. Hugo back then ahead of Milos Pavlovic as they come again down towards turn 13, just under 12 minutes still to go. So the leaders go by. There, through on the inside line goes Milos Pavlovic. He picks up the second place in Pro-Am, and he will be across the line 10th overall as well, displacing Hugo back out of all of that. Back on the tail of Pavlovic then. Hugo back tries to attack again down in towards turn 1, can't do it, has to stay behind. Pavlovic knows exactly how to defend in these cars, and they squabble with now Stefan Rossina starting to close, and he's another driver in Pro-Am. But while they're battling for second, the leader in the class, Georgi Dimitrov, is away and gone. He's built quite a lead now. Up front, it is Paul Levesque ahead of Patrick Fraboni, but the gap down a little bit to 9/10 of a second at the start of this lap. There is Elias De La Torre in third, and Georgi Dimitrov fourth, the Pro-Am leader, flashing his lights rather cheekily. The CMR driver looking to work a way through. As yet, can't do it. But Elias De La Torre, new to Barcelona circuit, trying to keep the very quick Georgi Dimitrov at bay as the field comes towards turn 10 on this 20th lap of the race. 10 more minutes are on the clock then as the cars turn through. Nose to tail further back, Stefan Lemre now, having taken over 27, is sitting on the back of Pier Giacomo Randazzo. That means Massimo Ciglia has gone through in 61 into the lead of the class. You've got the Bronick Formanek Stefan Rossina car now. Stefan Rossina at the wheel, number 11, the red, white and blue car here, all over the back of Hugo back for second in Pro-Am. And as I say, a change of lead in Am. Massimo Ciglia there in the Oregon car now leads the class. Stefan Lemre second. Lemre, I think I'm right in saying, in fact, has got past both Ciglia and Randazzo. Oregon cars are plenty, and there is Ciglia not as far up the road as I thought he was going to be. So across the line, it's Enzo Garacci, in fact, at the head of that queue. Apologies. So Stefan Lemre does now lead Am from Randazzo, but not for much longer. Ciglia is on the attack as they come down towards turn 1. So Enzo Garacci up to 12th overall. And there is Stefan Lemre, who now has the lead in Am. Pier Giacomo Randazzo versus Massimo Ciglia for second in the class. But Lemre being able to build that gap now while Randazzo defends. Race lead margin still only 7/10 of a second as here. Together they run now for third place, and we've had the change. Georgi Dimitrov has got himself ahead of Elias De La Torre then. So Georgi Dimitrov goes through, clears the place, and looking very, very strong indeed right now. Whether or not he's going to be able to catch the top two remains to be seen. He's got to make up about 2.5 seconds in order to do so. But there are the leaders with Paul Levesque. I think now, having steadied that ship, he's managed to stabilise the gap over Patrick Fraboni. replay of how the move came. Dimitrov, a really late decision to make that move, but the gap was open for him up the inside into 5. Elias de la Torre, I don't think expected that, and as he was planning the line for the corner, suddenly Dimitrov found that gap and went for it. No argument. Elias de la Torre, to say he was caught napping is maybe a bit unfair, but I don't think he anticipated a move to come there. It did. Dimitrov has gone by, and he's also pulled away, has he not? So Elias de la Torre falling back a little bit in 4th, and the earlier driver of that car is Ethan Brown, and he is in the pit lane, able to talk to Dakota as the car is 3rd in class in Pro 1.
Ethan, now we've just seen a replay of Dimitrov passing your teammate Elias. It's gut-wrenching, but I know you're still in it for the win, obviously 3rd now in Pro. Passing is really tricky on this track. Where would you say is the best place to overtake, and where would you make the move if you needed to make it back?
Well, this weekend we've been really strong in Sector 1, so hopefully Elias has got something into Turn 1 on the brakes. But yeah, he's super quick, so I'm sure he'll get the move done somewhere.
Do you think that it was good to let Georgie go past? Because obviously he's more experienced, he knows these tracks. Was that a good move by your teammate?
Yeah, we're not competing against him. Obviously he's in a different category, so as long as we're still on for a podium in Pro class, I'm really happy with that, so yeah.
Let's see how you go. Good luck.
So 4th in the race, 3rd in the Pro Cup is the car that Ethan Brown started. And here it's being driven by Elias de la Torre as they go now up through turn 9. But Dimitrov is catching the race leaders. This is very, very impressive. Georgi Dimitrov catching up onto the back of Patrick Fraboni. So remember, this car, number 13, despite its unlucky number, has had 2 outright wins on top of the 5 class wins that have come its way. Dimitrov is very much the star turn in the car, and he's underlining why as he comes out of turn 12 now, edging ever closer. The margin at the start of the lap against Fraboni was 1.8 seconds, but with personal best sectors being put in by Dimitrov, he's almost on the back of Fraboni now. Again, it's not the overall result necessarily that concerns, it's the class win, but when you've got this amount of pace, it's hard to turn it away. Over the timing line now comes the race lead battle. Race leaders go through then down into the right-hander of turn number 1. Paul Levet still ahead of Fraboni in 2nd place. Dimitrov 3rd, de la Torre, Wisniewski and Rutter is the order. And there, slow again, is Hugo back. Now, we saw something like that happen to Renault Coupens earlier, and then the car picked up pace again. But here, there's a problem. And it's offline going down towards turn 1. So that is looking a bit more serious now. And Hugo back tries to carry on, but there's clearly something not right here. So there, the car carries on. Hugo back trying to drive around the problem. And the field now with just 5 minutes to go. So whatever this glitch is, it seems to be intermittent, and it has further affected the Boots and VDS car. So Hugo back falls further back, as you see Patrick Fraboni then now down in 3rd place. Georgi Dimitrov has cleared him up into 2nd spot. Dimitrov could yet be on for an outright win here. We know that Paul Levet is good, but now the pace that Georgi Dimitrov has got is very impressive. His last lap was a 144.8, a 144. Levet did a 46, so much the quicker is Dimitrov. Ignore Fraboni, he's cleared him. It's the race leader he's going after, and right now that gap, which was 1.4 seconds first to 3rd, is a new margin of 9/10 first to 2nd. 4.5 minutes are on the clock. It's white versus black. It is Levet versus Dimitrov down towards turn 1, and Patrick Fraboni there in 3rd place straight away, just losing time. 3, 4, 5 lengths lost, having also given up the place. So now Georgi Dimitrov on target for win number 6 of the year in Pro-Am, but could it be a 3rd outright race win as they come out of turn 3 once again? Down towards turn 4 they run. Replay of how the move came. Georgi Dimitrov again, turn 5. That's his favourite place, isn't it, to send it up the inside and go by. So Georgi Dimitrov now 2nd, and in the 1st sector, nearly 3/10 quicker than the race leader. Further back, you've got Shotram Kazova there in the blue car, number 12, clambering up the curb. He, in turn, has got the delayed Amaury Bonduel entry up behind him. That was the one in the hands of Sebastian Balthazar that triggered all the mayhem at the start of the race. And Henri Bonduel in a big battle with Karim Berger now, the Lamborghini Cup leader, number 7, sitting on his tail. It's not been a happy return, really, for Bonduel, but what it has done is file off the rust of these cars, if you like, before he tackles the World Finals in a month's time. So this long line of cars queued up, going through turn 5. This is 16th and back, really. The race with 3 more minutes on the clock, and the lead gap continues to come down. There they are, Paul Levette then ahead of Georgi Dimitrov. 3 minutes are on the clock. We're going to get 2 more laps out of this, I reckon, as down towards turn 13 comes Levette. Now, it's a similar situation to yesterday. Number 6 under pressure for the win. Yesterday it was Adam Patera who was having to fend off Benedetto Strignano. Today it's Paul Levette having to fend off Georgi Dimitrov, but the same situation. Number 6, late race, soaking up pressure, trying to hang on to the race win. Over the line, the gap between them is 0.7 of a second. Dimitrov is almost there. 1 more lap can be squeezed in. Come the end of this as they drop now down through turn 1. Around turn 3 goes the charging Georgi Dimitrov, way clear of Milos Pavlovic now in Pro-Am, but it's another outright race victory that would really please Dimitrov and the CMR team, running GT2 as well as GT4 and Super Trofeo cars this weekend. Very versatile squad is CMR, and now on the lights is Dimitrov. This is his favourite corner, but Levette is able to get the car in the middle of the road and deny Dimitrov the chance there. But now look, they're virtually as one. An 8-wheel Lamborghini leads here at the Circuit de Catalunya. To the inside line feints Georgi Dimitrov, but that isn't going to pay out for him as he gets into turn 7. Both cars step up the curve on exit of turn 8, and now with a lap and a half to go, they power their way through turn number 9. The cars turn their way towards turn 10, where Dimitrov, with some late braking, will close a little bit further maybe. You can see the pace of these two in the way that Fraboni has fallen back. He's unable to do anything about staying with either of these two, of course. And of course, the car in the lead outright, the white car of Paul Levette, is his main opposition in the Pro Cup. So disappointing end, really, for Fraboni, having been in this lead battle a few laps ago. 1 more lap to go then, as out of turn 14 they will come in a moment towards the line. Dimitrov has done the hard yards of getting onto the back of Levette, but now proving it's hard to get by when the cars are so evenly matched. Over the line, onto the last lap goes Paul Levette in the lead, Georgi Dimitrov in second place, and the gap between them from 0.7 now becomes 0.428 of a second. It is Fraboni in third place, as this is Shotor Abkhazova, the Kazakhstani licensed driver, keeping at bay another great queue of cars, which includes Randazzo and Balthazar. Now the Bonduel car, that Balthazar's name is still credited as driving, and there Karim Berger at the rear. There's a 5-second penalty being given to the Hong Kong driver Kahin Tsei for causing a collision earlier on in the race. And right now for the race lead, Levette versus Dimitrov as they come out of turn 4. This is where Dimitrov has had his opportunities in the past, but is where Levette covers off the inside line. So now Georgi Dimitrov has got to scratch his head a little bit and work out where he might be able to make a move. He's applying the pressure. He's trying to force a mistake out of the race leader, but it's not yet come. Paul Levette goes now through 7 and 8, and drama there because a big off for number 61 Massimo Ciglia. That's down at turn 2. It's not going to affect things because the checkered flag is ready, but the leaders are nose to tail. Here they come then, down through turn 10 approach. It is the white car of Levette, the black car of Georgi Dimitrov, class winners both if they get to the end. Yellow flags out at turn 2 because of Ciglia, but that's not going to affect life. There aren't many more cars to go through that sequence of the circuit. So 2 corners to go then, coming up for Paul Levette. A second win of the weekend beckons for him and Adam Patera, and a third of the season as the cars now coming to turn 13. Georgi Dimitrov has thrown pretty much everything at this, but he can't find a way through. Checkered flag at the ready. It is going to be a second win of the weekend in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe for a sideways Paul Levette, who leads coming up to the line. Paul Levette wins with Adam Patera. Georgi Dimitrov second to win Pro-Am with Stefan Guerin. Great drive by Dimitrov, and third goes the way of Patrick Fraboni along with Giacomo Pedrini. Now for the other classes, Am is going to go the way of Stéphane Lemeray and Rodrigue Gillion then, who come up towards the line chasing after Stefan Rossina in the Pro-Am third placed car. And off the road has gone Shotor Abkhazova. So he would have been 13th, but he has now had a moment, so that's going to help this man, Carrier-Mauger, the Lamborghini Cup winner, to take another place as the checker flag is waved and Carrier-Mauger goes through now to secure the position. He's 14th in the end to win his class. Guido Luchetti 15th, delayed early on. And the second of the AMs, Pier Giacomo Randazzo. So the car that briefly led outright is, in the end, down in 16th place, second in class. Another very lively race in Super Trofeo Europe, enlivened certainly by the efforts of Georgi Dimitrov there right at the very end. So the drivers making their way to the pit lane and the presentations. This is what happened to Massimo Ciglia. That was all self-induced. Got a bit too power happy coming out of turn 2, spun the car into the wall, damaged the rear wing. What about Shotrab Karzava? He went off the road, and that was Amaury Bonduel's damaged car behind that got into the back of Karzava and turned him around. So I think there's quite a lot to the stewards have to look for as leaping back towards the circuit, Shotrab Karzava flings himself off the curb, and a rather sorry end to the race for Karzava, 22nd after all of that. Big shame. So in Pro, Paul Levette and Adam Patera are the winners from Patrick Fraboni and Giacomo Pedrini, and the third Pro entry of Elias de la Torre and Ethan Brown. Pro-Am won by the Georgi Dimitrov and Stefan Guerin CMR car from Milos Pavlovic and Alessio Ruffini, and then Stefan Rossino and Bronick Formanek behind. In the AM category, it was Stéphane Lamray and Rodri Gillion ahead of Pier Giacomo Randazzo and Stefan Trubodini. And did we have a third AM? We did. It was Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, thinking about it, who was third in the class. Lamborghini Cup, that was Carrier-Mauger from Holger Harmsen and Francesco Tuzzo coming home in third place. So, as is off the case, lively racing in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe, and confirmation of how they crossed the line. Not necessarily saying this is the result, might be quite a lot for the stewards to look at, but Paul Levette and Adam Patera heading home, Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov, with Patrick Fraboni taking third with the help of Giacomo Pedrini. Elias de la Torre and Ethan Brown fourth from the car of Gerhard Wisniewski and Rosario Messina. Silas Rutter sixth with Anthony Pretorius, and then Milos Pavlovic and Alessio Ruffini in seventh. Eighth, Kalle Bergman and Mons Tallinn. Benedetto Strignano, that led most of the opening stint, only ninth, and 10th going the way of Stéphane Lamray and Rodri Gillion to win their class. Carrier-Mauger 14th, a class winner as well, and the troubled Renaud Coupens Hugo Back car making it home in 20th place. We lost Dimitri Enjalbert on the opening lap. We lost Christian Bortolato with his engine dramas and the oil on the track. We lost Kevin Marocha and Adrian Lewandowski as well. So there, Giacomo Pedrini and Patrick Fraboni's car. Patrick Fraboni not looking overly thrilled about third and second in class, because he just did not seem to have the pace, but it's good points nonetheless. But very good result for Adam Patera and Paul Levette. They are our race winners, and on the spot with them is Dakota Jane.
Adam, congratulations. Total domination. I think that's what they call 2 for 2. That should put you in a really good position for the championship, right?
Yeah, not too bad of a weekend. Double P1. I couldn't ask for more. Yeah, amazing weekend. Here's Paul.
Here's Paul. Paul, you look like you're not even breaking a sweat. Obviously, that cool suit did you some good. What was it like being at the front?
Always good to be at the front, but it's better if you win the race. So we did twice this weekend. Honestly, I always aim for the best, but what happened this weekend was beyond expectations. He didn't know the track. He drove 5 laps in FP2. I didn't drive FP2. The weekend started not really well, but in the end, P1 twice.
Congratulations. Will you be back also for the last round in Misano?
I need to speak to my team manager at the moment. Yes. The negotiations will be easier after this weekend, I guess. But I don't know yet. I don't know, honestly.
Congratulations. Mega job, both of you guys.
That's it.
It's all about finding the money for Paul Levette to try and be on that grid at Misano. Fastest lap of the race, Igor Orodchev. Win number 3 of the year, win number 2 of the weekend, though, for the VSR entry. A mighty effort by Paul Levette and Adam Patera, both drivers, therefore, having to do a last stint and, therefore, withstand pressure from the pack behind. So, as the drivers then prepare themselves for the podium, fans in the grandstands here in big numbers for a real festival of GT racing at the Circuit de Catalunya. Get set for action on track as well. Lamborghini representation later in the day here with cars looking competitive across the classes in GT World Challenge Europe. But the podium beckons for our winning drivers. Top 3 out of the classes. And Paul Levet, a very happy driver indeed. The technical team from Super Trofeo, putting the cars under Parc Fermé conditions. But let us hear from our Pro-Am winners next. Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov. And Georgi Dimitrov, oh, so nearly an outright race winner for the 3rd time this year.
Congratulations, mega racing. Obviously, Georgie, right to the end there. I actually thought you might have a bit of a chance for the 1st place overall, but I think it's confirmed, don't hold me there, that you are the Pro-Am champions. There's not many points left, so congratulations. How are you feeling?
Yeah, amazing, to be honest. Probably the best stint I've done this year. It was really difficult to overtake the cars in front of me, but yeah, I tried my best to get through the traffic as well as possible. And yeah, we ended the day P2 overall and P1 in Pro-Am. Still, it's probably confirmed for the championship, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, this guy did an amazing job as well, avoiding everything that was happening in the first stint. So really, it's been an amazing year so far, and yeah, couldn't be happier at the moment.
Stéphane, est-ce que vous êtes content? Are you happy?
C'était fantastique. Il y a ma famille qui est là pour célébrer. Georgie a fait un 2e relais fantastique. Il a un rythme incroyable, ça se voyait clairement sur la vidéo. Hier, on était un peu en deçà. Bon, c'est pas grave. On a fait une super saison. Donc voilà, on va pouvoir aborder le dernier meeting plus relax et célébrer ce titre de champion d'Europe.
I'm going to translate very quickly what you said, obviously. Georgie did a fantastic job is what he said. His family and his friends are here to be able to celebrate with him. And really had a great season. So congratulations. Thanks very much, guys.
And bearing in mind they were a late entry for Paul Ricard, it's been a very successful combination and a really good deal that's come together. Stefan Guerin we've seen regularly in Super Trofeo and GT4 type racing, but he and Georgi Dimitrov have made a good pair. Georgi, the quicker of the two, as you have seen, by the way, he catapulted that car up the order. So, class win for Georgi Dimitrov and Stefan Guerin here in race 2. A very dramatic second Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe race here at the Circuit de Catalunya, and it began with a bang as Sebastian Balthazar got on the grass and came across the traffic, wiping out Dimitri Enjalbert and taking the car of Guido Luchetti with him. Others made progress early doors, including Renaud Kuppens up on the inside to work his way past Gerhard Wiedniewski, but then when the Christian Bortolaso engine let go, he went into the gravel and oil went down on the road. That caught out the leading Benedetto Strignano. So with the car in a dangerous place and oil on the circuit, we had to have the race neutralised. Strignano's lead was gone. He tumbled down the order and the safety car stayed out while the cars made their regulation pit stop. When the race got back underway, those drivers that were quicker than their first stint compatriots were able to really make progress, including Georgi Dimitrov, who carved his way into contention. Paul Levet took over the race lead, and there was some very feisty racing all the way through the field. In the end, it was Paul Levet for the race lead, under attack from Georgi Dimitrov as Silas Rutter made a move on the inside, got tagged by Strignano, and that forced Kalle Bergerman wide and up the escape lane. This was the move that put Dimitrov up into 3rd place, and he wasn't done yet. He did a similar thing on Patrick Fabroni for 2nd as Stefan Lemeray worked his way through to the lead of the AM class. For 2nd place to the inside, and again, turn 5 went Georgi Dimitrov. One car stood between him and a 3rd outright win of the season, and this now meant that he was hard charging on the tail of Paul Levet. Massimo Ciglia, though, on the last lap, spun himself out of 2nd in the AM contest, and that was that car done. As to the checkered flag came Paul Levet and Adam Patera. Win number 3 of the season, win number 2 of the weekend. They've done the double in Barcelona. Podiums then are underway with the victorious drivers from Pro already there, and Adam Patera and Paul Levet are about to stand on the top step. They do so for the 2nd time this weekend. So for Paul Levert and Adam Patera, the national anthem of the winning team, VSR Vincenzo Sospiri Racing, is played. And so now the winners' trophies are ready to be presented by Marco Picci, the project manager for Lamborghini Squadra Corsa. To the third placed drivers they go, to Elias De La Torre and Ethan Brown. Really impressive pace they've both shown this weekend. Patrick Fabroni and Giacomo Pedrini take second, and the winning trophies go the way of the combined efforts of Adam Patera and Paul Levert. VSR takes the team's trophy. Everybody gets together on the podium. And smiles and celebrations all round. So top stuff from VSR in the ever competitive Super Trofeo Europe Championship. Another 40-strong entry that's been received for certain rounds. High 30s this weekend, and some excellent racing as well. Right, as long as your team manager doesn't fall over and hurt himself getting off the podium, there's time for the champagne here. And Paul Levert is in pursuit, as the champagne is aimed instead at Adam Patera. But the celebration's underway with 2 more races to go in Super Trofeo Europe on the second weekend of November at Misano, that also, of course, doubles up as the World Finals weekend. So a delighted Paul Levert, having missed the Nürburgring round. He's back in the championship. He can't win it because he's never going to outscore Adam Patera. But it is Josef Knopp and Enzo Garacci after a bad weekend, only 3 ahead of Patera. And I think Adam, when he was saying he wants Paul Levert with him at Misano, he knows exactly why, because Paul Levert's going to be crucial to helping Patera win the championship. Guido Luchetti is 4th ahead of Patrick Fabroni and Giacomo Pedrini. They share the target number 9 entry, and they're 5th right now. So the podium being made ready for Pro-Am, Am and Lamborghini Cup. Pro-Am drivers making their way onto the podium, including Bronek Formanek and Stefan Rossina, who've taken 3rd in the class. They are the SRO GT2 European Series champions, but have come back, or certainly Bronek Formanek has come back into Super Trofeo for the end of the season. There for 2nd are Milos Pavlovic and Alessio Ruffini. And the class won by Georgi Dimitrov and Stefan Guerin, 2 very happy drivers, and Georgi Dimitrov bringing that car home 2nd overall. Really impressive stint. As for the CMR team, the top step of the podium is theirs for the 6th time this year. Bronek Formanek's beard fluttering in the breeze as he puts the Hankook hat back on and gets ready for the champagne. He and Stefan Rossina have made a really good combination this year. Switching from partnering Josef Zaruba. The trophies go to our 3rd placed drivers. Bronek Formanek far more concerned about the fizz. Then for 2nd place to Milos Pavlovic and Alessio Ruffini. And then we have Georgi Dimitrov and his co-driver Stefan Guerin. A brilliant season they have had. Our new Pro-Am champions. The team's trophy goes to CMR, I should say, and the champagne is already sprayed. Bronek Formanek has been determined to get on with this, and he's disappeared into race control to go and soak anybody else he can find. Those that are left on the podium are now having their own champagne battle. So a good season of Pro-Am racing, and for the championship then, champions crown. Stefan Guerin and Georgi Dimitrov are victorious. Hugo Back and Renaud Coupens are ahead of Alessio Ruffini and Milos Pavlovic. 3rd, Anthony Nara, Dimitri Angelbert, not scoring in that race, are ahead of Egor Oronchev and Shota Abkhazova, with 6th for Stefan Rossina and Bronek Formanek, who've only really joined in for the last couple of events. So 2 more races to go in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe. They are going to be at Misano in Italy on the second weekend of November, when the 2025 champions are going to be crowned. But we know that Stefan Garin and Georgi Dimitrov are victorious in Pro-Am at the end of a great season in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe.